Do you remember what it felt like to be a little kid? Being that free, that unaware of being watched or judged? Because I didn't.
A lot of theaters and plays have been on hold during the pandemic, but that's not stopping students at Downstage. They're presenting mini plays all in time for World Theater Day. And to learn more about Tales for the Student Mind, I'm happy to be joined by Clare Preuss, the Artistic Director of Downstage. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having us. Yeah, having me.
Well, you know what, this is a really neat initiative. So maybe just first and foremost, tell us where it came from. Was it motivated because of the pandemic?
It absolutely was motivated from the pandemic. So what we started noticing as we were working with our student ambassadors is that some students were feeling, and student ambassadors we've been working with for a long time, they engage with our theater work in different ways. But we started noticing that people were feeling isolated and also feeling a little distance from this notion of what is theater at this time. So we're so lucky here in Calgary, here locally, to have some incredible and very seasoned artists who are a little bit more available than they normally are at this time. And so we got 5 mentors who are just amazing, paired with 5 students who all applied through our online search. We did an online search for our social media and websites. And they applied, they made a project proposal, and we ended up choosing 5 projects that all somehow revolved around identity. Some of them, the pandemic, specifically affecting their sense of identity, and others a broader investigation of their own identity within the world and within theater.
What a great opportunity for them to have such mentors that help them through this. And folks such as myself, we're going to be able to watch. This is going to be aired on YouTube, right?
Absolutely. So right now we've launched 3 of them. We launched Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. They're all right now on our Instagram, which is at Downstage YYC. It's also on our website, downstage.ca, and that also links to our YouTube channel, which is also at Downstage YYC. So you can look at it now, or we'll have them up at least for the rest of the season, so at least till the end of summer. And you can see that these are all the different artists and their mentors and the different pieces that they're doing. So they're all a minute, so they're very accessible. It's all free. So it's just lovely to kind of get a sense of these young artists. And they really did work closely with each mentor as well. So you can sort of, knowing the mentors, I can feel that relationship between the mentor artist and the student artist. So it's been a very nourishing experience for all, from what I understand, and really fun to watch and to see how we're interpreting theater for an online.
Yeah, definitely. I imagine so. And, can you speak to just how important it is to still have this, it's a different creative outlet, doing it this way on YouTube and pairing up with mentors this way, but just how important is it to pivot right now and still be able to offer this type of program to students?
Absolutely. I mean, I value anyone's approach right now during the pandemic, because we have to figure out a way that aligns with our values. But with Downstage, we're so much about serving the community. We're about conversation around theater. So right now, part of the conversation is, what does theater mean? What is it to make theater? What is it to experiment in theater? But also, what is it to be an audience member or to be part of the public who is receiving a piece of art, engaging with a piece of art? So what I love about this is that, you don't have to sign up for a ticket. You don't have to come for a certain time. You can just take it in and go, what are these young people, how do they interpret this notion of theater on a screen? And we talked a lot about that too. And I think part of it is really, theater lives in the world of symbolism. So, when you see a movie, it's often set in a location. Things, not always, but it's often set in a location that's fairly realistic, somewhat of a sort of logical timeline. Theater can really go into these places of symbolism, and the artists are doing that, which is nice. And a lot of poetry intertwines, some comedy too, even a bit of puppetry.
Oh, neat. I like that. In terms of the mentorship, is there any familiar names that perhaps those in the theater world or beyond might recognize?
Absolutely. Well, Tara Beagan, we're so lucky to be working with her. She just won the largest prize that you can win in Canada, the Siminovich Award. It's a $100,000 prize, and she just won it this year for playwriting. So she's a local artist who is also the co-artistic director of Article 11, which is a local Indigenous theater company. So we're super happy to collaborate with her. Downstage is actually collaborating with Article 11 on another show called Dear Woman, which we've been doing online as well throughout the season. And then Ari Rombough is a very well-known cabaret performer here in town, really interesting take on cabaret and burlesque. So you might know them that way, or also through theater. They've done theater from everywhere from Vertigo to ATP, all sorts of big theatre houses and the more small theatre houses as well. We've got Makambe K Simamba, who has done a lot in Calgary and is currently living in Toronto, actually. And she's a Dora Award winner for her play, Our Father's Sons, Lovers and Little Brothers. We've also got TylerJ Sloane, who grew up in Red Deer. They're also currently kind of all over the nation, working in different ways. And then we've got, Kunji Ikeda, who's a brilliant dancer, creator, actor, writer, who you may have seen at the High Performance Rodeo. I believe it was last season or the season before, and is well known in the city as well for his dance work and his sort of more physical theater work.
Wow, well, quite the variety, and what's so lucky for these students. Thank you so much for joining us today, Claire. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me. All the best.
And for more information and to catch some of these mini plays, you can visit downstage.ca, or you can also find them on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter.